also should be pretty good in predictive analytics, because you talked about the external environment, and the question from the internet was how did you deal with it internally, and you answered that as well, so thank you. Very good. Peter, I'm going to come over to you now and ask you a question if I could. For you, more than 100 years ABB has been engaged producing power, industrial generators for European countries. How is your business model changing? Obviously you're on the cutting edge of a lot of different areas.
Yeah, thanks Mark, and thanks Prime Minister for having us here. Let me go in such a way. The B2C space has changed a lot. The B2B is about to change a lot as well, and that's where the great potential is. As ABB, we are serving every industry you can think of, and therefore we have got to go through two changes, two transformations. One is we have to follow the customer transformation, but we also have to do our own transformation internally. And that really starts with people. I think people here is one of the biggest issues which we have to deal with. We have got enormous domain knowledge in our company, but we need to link this together with the talent on the digital side, new technologies from the outside. In order to make this very visible to our staff and our customers as well, we formed a new brand which is called ABB Ability, where we bring every digital solution together under one brand and hire the people internally and externally to serve our customers. And that gives us the chance to be attractive for those who have the domain knowledge, but also for those which come with the new technology. So that's the first one on people. The second one on people would be, we have to switch from a system where we take trained talent in and they just do their job. We have to switch to a lifelong learning, because technology is evolving so far, and the same applies for our customers. So we need to rethink on how we actually engage our staff over a longer period and retrain them, give them new skills. If I then come to the business model, one of the biggest changes which we have seen is clearly that we are used to run vertical structures, business structures, and now overnight we have to deal also with platform structures, which is different. So we bring things together in a different way than just run our vertical business structures. And that means we cannot do everything alone. We had to open up and do things with partners. You mentioned this, the Prime Minister mentioned this. So we are partnering with the tech companies like Microsoft, like HP, like IBM, like Apple, whilst at the same time we are partnering also with some domain specialists in order to offer our customers a more integrated solution. Because we are also moving from a hardware company into a solution system companies. More than 50% of our sales products today have embedded software. So we have thousands of software engineers which we now have in the company, and they obviously also are transforming the company at the same time. Data was mentioned. We are sitting on an enormous amount of data from ourselves, but also from our customers. We have 70 million connected devices in the market already. We have 70,000 industrial control systems. And therefore we need to make sense out of the data with our customers, and that's the biggest challenge. And I agree with what was said before. It's not about the data, it's actually what we do with it. And I've got some examples here that you just can see how we are changing the business model. We are number 2 on the robotics side in the world, industrial robotics. We are now running actually an organization in Bangalore for our services for robots. So we are gathering all the data, we are analyzing them, and we can actually give preemptive kind of advices to do early maintenance so that the thing doesn't break down. So it's not just then for one customer something which we can do. At the same time, we can actually test all of our robots across the world if they have a similar issue. So we are gaining speed, we have less downtime, and this can be a new offering to our customer. Second one is oil and chemicals and gas facilities. Through actually automating the data, we can actually reduce operational costs by up to 30% and commissioning time of up to 50%. So these are some of the things which we now can offer to our clients by working together also with our partners on the other side. Some other things which we have done in terms of getting us ready as an old industry to actually function in the new industry, we also had to purify our portfolio. So we sold a few things and we bought a few things in order to be ready to offer end-to-end solutions to our customers. So what was good in the past is not what actually the customers are looking for from us in the future. So some deep portfolio analysis. Culture change in the company, very important. So we hired a digital officer in order to make absolutely clear to the last person in the organization that digital is here and not to change. Reports to the CEO and actually drives this new brand ABB Ability. And his biggest surprise, he is a Silicon Valley person, was he found actually more digital savvy people inside the company than actually outside the company. So that was also a transformation we had done. The last one is collaboration with universities, with governments, but also we have formed a new ABB venture capitalist arm where we are buying startup companies or integrate them in our solutions. So these are a few things which we have done to change a 125 years old company into something new and modern. And let me just say the last thing, I see this as the biggest opportunity for an old industry company which we have come across the last 50 years. A lot is always talked about we will be out of business, this is negative. No, this is positive, this is the great challenge and opportunity which we have going forward.
Thank you, Peter, and that was the easy part, describing your business model changes and a lot of similarity between you and Dimitri and focusing on people, information, not just data, and great comments. One quick, if you give me in 1 minute, the answer to a harder question, and that's because it's going to be 1 minute, but also, what is the changes in the world coming over the next 10 years that you see happening? That's what the internet question that came to you was.
Yeah, I think the question focuses a lot on what's going to change for the consumer, for example. We will have a much different energy system, much more cleaner, integration of renewables. The mobility for consumers will change. We will have electric cars, we will have electric buses, we will have shared cars, but electric ones. So there's a huge impact going to happen on the consumer side. The availability of goods and services which will be easier, most probably at lower costs over time. I think we will see big market shifts that production, autonomous manufacturing will move much closer to markets where the customers are. 3D printing comes to mind, etc., etc. So you will see a shift of the global supply chain into a more attractive, very productive autonomous manufacturing supply chain, and that's where we will see a lot of benefits also for Russia as a country, that you actually can produce the goods you're going to consume tomorrow more or less at the front step of your house.
Well, thank you, Peter, and thank you, Dimitri. Great comments on both of those. Let's move on.